Hi, I'm Martin Cavey from Chorus Accounting, and today we're going to talk about the construction industry scheme. So what is the construction industry scheme and why is it important? Well, the construction industry scheme only applies to people that work in, you've guessed it, the construction industry. But what does that mean? Well, it means things like building, electrical installation, plumbing, things like that, where you are working in a commercial basis. So why is it important to you as a business owner to know about that scheme? Well, firstly, if you're in construction, you either need to be registered under the scheme, or if you're going to be supplying labour to other people within the scheme, you have to also have registered. One's as a contractor basis, the other is as a subcontractor. If you're a subcontractor, well, that can mean one of two things. It can either mean that you hold something called a gross payment status, so no tax is deducted from you when you give your invoice to your end customer. The other way is if you are a subcontractor with a tax deduction. And that means that for every invoice that you put in to your customer, they will deduct 20% of your earnings and then pay that over to Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs on your behalf. It's a bit like a tax pot. But what happens if you don't register under the scheme? Well, you'll then become something called unverified. And if you're working with the construction industry and you're unverified, what that then means is that the customer will deduct 30% of your earnings from your invoice, and you have no means of getting that tax back until you submit your tax return. Well, if you do that in April and you don't get verified until May, that means that 30% deduction is not going to come back to you until the following April. It's really important that you register to make sure those tax deductions are right. But at the beginning, I talked about an employer and why it was important to them to be registered. If you are taking on labour on a subcontractor basis, then you have to register as a contractor under the scheme. You then have to submit monthly returns showing what you have deducted from people, what they have earned, and then pay that tax over in the same way that you do with PAYE by the 19th of the following month. But importantly, you also have to submit a contractor monthly return. If you don't do that, then that's £100 fine for every return that you don't do. So it's one of those things, it's important to get your routines right, get them in place from day one so that you don't build up fines. I'm Martin Cavey from Chorus Accounting. I've been talking about the construction industry scheme. If you're not sure whether it applies or you need some help about it, please don't hesitate to give me a call.